All right, so we randomly threw on a movie, or should I say, Kaylee randomly threw on a movie called The Closet.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep, and it's about this kid coming out to his parents.
No, it's
no,
not. That's a different one.
Is that a movie?
It's the other one that we watched.
Oh,
The After Hours one.
that was a porno.
Thanks.
That's what she's getting at. No, okay, fine. You tell them what this one's about then.
The
gonna get a
Closet
drink.
is.
Can I have a drink? Is that it? Damn. No, it's fine. Go on.
The Closet is a Korean horror film that feels like the Chronicles of Narnia meets Haunted House, kind of.
I don't feel like the Chronicles of Narnia is true.
You don't think that it's
Somebody said that, and
I see it. It's because of the closet, right? It's
yeah,
the
but
wardrobe.
you don't. They don't go into it.
They do.
Not really.
They do. They go into it, and
They
they
don't
go into
it
a
like
demon realm.
Narnia.
But it is. It's demon.
To me,
Narnia,
I would
though.
say that people would think like, oh, they go into the closet and they go into this demon world for like a majority of the movie,
They're
like
in
in
it for a good
Chronicles
amount,
of Narnia.
They're. I mean, at least like a quarter of the film is there towards the end. They're in it for a while. They're in it for a while. Okay, but
that's fine.
It's just the vibe of it. But it's about a young girl and her father, and they move out to the country after her mother dies tragically in a car accident that they were all in. And the daughter and father have kind of a strained relationship. He's, obviously both of them are dealing with grief, and he kind of doesn't want her around because she's grieving and he can't really handle it. So they move into this spooky old house, and there's a closet in it, and demons happen. And
Demons happen.
Demons happen, and the father basically goes on a journey of meeting an exorcist and trying to save his daughter from the demons.
Narnia world.
From the Narnia demons.
So, okay.
That's
I
it.
will admit, so she should be a better gauge on this than I, because I did kind of pass out a little bit at the end. She was rubbing me, and I was just like, I had a long day at work, and I was watching it, and honestly, okay, the film is uber generic. It reminds me of 1,000 other films I've seen that are just like this. The movie that it the most closely resembles for me is the original House from 1986, I want to say is the first House, with William Catt. Might be 85. Ding Dong, You're Dead. I've shown her House 2, but never House 1. But it's very similar in the sense that William Catt's character in that, Roger Cobb, he loses his kid, and he then has a guy who comes over, and they try to film themselves luring this kid out of the closet in the room where the kid's supposed to be. So very similar kind of setup here, except for his neighbor, played by George Wendt, is just a neighbor. He's just a regular guy. He's not an exorcist like in this one. But all of those kinds of things where he, the exorcist comes and he's like, I need to set this up, and here's the lore, and here's all the gags and the scares and all that stuff. It's just all seen it, done it, been there. I'm over it. I wanted to like this a lot more because A, I love South Korean films. B, I love daddy-daughter stories. I'm a huge sucker for them. And I don't know, I feel like I never got to really connect with the father and the daughter before she's taken. I think they could have done a better job of illustrating what their relationship was like pre-death and post-death of the mom. And so I could have gotten a better sense of their relationship because it's so disconnected by the time. And once he loses her, he does want her back. But I never felt in my way, like when I was watching the after parts of her missing, I don't know. I never got this sense that he like was like, oh my god, I need my daughter back because I love her so much. He just felt so like blah in those scenes. Like the guy comes over and he's just like, "Are you gonna fucking do this? You gonna?" I don't know. It just.
I think that part of it though, so it's an interesting daddy daughter because he like story. Maybe not interesting, but the thing that's different about it, and part of the reason why I think you probably had a hard time connecting, is that they do illustrate that prior to the mom's death, he was working all the time. He wasn't a part of her life. And you're not like that with your kids. And so for him, he already had this, like he was missing her birthday, and the mom was getting, she got her a necklace and said that it was from her dad, so the little girl was wearing it all the time. So he wasn't really present in her life. And then, following the death of the mom, who was kind of what was holding them together, it's like they're just drifting further apart. He doesn't really know how to be a parent to her in the way that the mom was. So I think it's him coming to terms with that, and then obviously losing her. I do think he feels, this sense of like loss and remorse and wanting to get her back pretty intensely. But I get what you're saying. I think it would have been cool to have more scenes of them, just flashbacks, prior to the death. You only really get a few. But I thought it set it up pretty well, actually.
I don't think that's even necessary. What I think would have been better for me had he then realized how much he loved his daughter and needed her back, and that would have been better conveyed to me. I just didn't get that sense. Even though I do think that's what they were trying to sell. You don't know what you got until it's gone. I just didn't feel it. I was tired.
That's okay.
Granted, right? And I did kind of nod off in the last maybe 5 minutes. And I woke up and I had Kaylee tell me what the fuck even happened. Because I was like, I woke up and the credits were rolling. I was like, oh shit. And typically I would rewind, right? I would typically go back and be like, I think she even knew, like, not to even bother pausing it. Because she was like, he's so not into this.
Yeah.
So that's not like her. Like, if either one of us starts to fall asleep, the other one pauses it. And I think she was just like, he doesn't give a shit. And I didn't. Like, when I woke up, I was like, yeah, tell me what happens. I'm not even going to rewind it. I was so checked out by that point. And I think this had potential, even if it's generic. Like, generic films can work. Just you have to put a new flavor and a new spin on them. Which, of course, then would not make them generic anymore. But what I mean by it is the setup is generic. But you can play around with conventions and make them not feel generic, even though typically they are. Or technically they are.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It was generic. I got that feeling while I was watching it, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. I didn't love it by any means, but I didn't have a problem watching it, and I was invested enough. Like, I wanted to see where things went. I really I liked the ending, which is kind of the part where you were falling asleep, or towards the end when they go into the good part. They go into the demon realm, and like you saw some of it, like the first room that they go into. There's some really cool set design with these creepy dolls everywhere, and there's this giant I thought all that looked pretty cool, and I like that it's essentially a story about abused children. Which I felt bad for all of the demon kids that were lured there by the main demon girl, because they're all like neglected kids.
Yeah, that's sad.
And I thought that was cool, and I don't know, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I would recommend it to a lot of people. I think a lot of people would find it kind of boring and, like we've been saying, really generic. But I think there's a handful of people that would, have a good time watching it.
Fine. I'll go back and rewatch the ending. I want to see this upside down Narnia world. So, okay. I'll watch that. But for now, this is where my opinion stands. Maybe that last 5 or 10 minutes, whatever the hell I missed, will turn me around on it a bit. But from the point up into which I saw, I'm not interested. So that's not enough. I didn't care if the last 10 minutes is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. I would still be like,
Yeah.
Overall, right? So that's where I sit on it. I think this is probably the only film I've ever reviewed that I did not watch 100%.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
So this
Good
is like
review.
a 95% review for me.
Like an 85% maybe.
Fuck off. Anyways, all right, guys. Let us know if you've seen The Closet on Shudder. If you haven't, get Shudder. I keep saying that. They need to send me my royalty check already. Or whatever.
$100 royalty check.
$1 million?
$100 million.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, 100. Wow. I don't think they have $100 million.
You should find it.
And just give it to me.
Yeah.
For promoting it to like 7 people. Seems a little overkill. But I'll take it. Bye.
Bye.